Hey there, today on Tom's Tech Show, we're actually going to create an EC2 instance. We've been going over some other parts, getting there, but today we're going to actually make one. Hey there, welcome to Tom's Tech Show. Today, we're finally at the point where we can create an EC2 instance. We've done some other things up to this point, but today's going to be the Create EC2 Instance video. Today we're going to be creating a Linux instance. Amazon, you can do Windows or Linux. Today's going to be Linux. Okay, so the basics part that we've done before in other videos is importing the module, AWS PowerShell. I'm on Linux here in this box that I'm using, so we need the .NET Core. We have our access key, security key, region. We're going to need, in this case, a security group ID. We need a subnet ID, and then we have to give it our instance a name, and then we're going to create a T2 micro instance. That's 1 CPU, 1 gig of memory. Then we have our keys here, a billing key, and I need my key pair name. So the next thing, of course, we have to do is set our credentials for accessing AWS. We do that with our access key, secret key, store that as default for the session. Then before we can do anything, as always, we got to set our region that we're going to be working in. Okay. So we come down to that. We've done that in all the other scripts that I've done. So now we need to find out what AMI, Amazon Machine Image, we're going to be using. So Amazon constantly revs and updates their machine images, so we need to get the latest one. And since it's now 2019, I can do a filter, create a filter here. This is some PowerShell kind of specific things, creating a filter, but we're going to create a filter based off of an EC2 model filter, and we're going to find the name that is the value, and over here in the name we have these question marks. So the question marks in the filter are the wildcards. So this is going to be the month and the day in our filter. So we need 2019, and we just need to get everything that has 2019. We don't care about the month and day. So then we do get EC2 image. The owner is Amazon or self. If we had made our own, we can do self as well. And then we're going to filter on that platform. So we're going to be getting the EC2 images based on the filter of Amazon's version 2.0 that they have this year. Then I'm going to sort that descending. So now the image that is the newest is going to be the very top of my AMI list. Okay. So and that's what I want. So you'll see how we address this later when we actually launch the instance. Now, as I do with everything, I tag it. So we create some tags. We're giving it a name tag and a billing tag. And this is done differently. If you remember, I have this other script up here, the create security group. This is done with the object Amazon EC2 model tag, and they have a key and a value for the details in that. Over here, when we're doing instances, we are doing Amazon EC2 model tag specification. So this is a little bit different. So we create the tags kind of like we do the filters up here. So we do tag, key is name, value is instance. Then I have tag 1, key is billing, value is billing key. We create our tag spec. We tell it the resource type we're tagging it against is instance. And then we do a tag function adding this to our array. Tag spec, a tags, add tag 0 and tag 1. So now we've taken those tags up there and our tag spec, which is this tag specification model, and we've added our 2 tags to it. Okay, with this information so far that we have, we can now launch an EC2 instance. Okay, so that's new EC2 instance is the command. Then we do image ID. So we need to know what operating system and stuff that we are, and configuration that we are launching. So I had my AMI list that I sorted descending. So if I pick record 0, this is specifying the value of the array 0 in brackets here, dot image ID, that's going to grab the image ID of the very newest Amazon Linux version 2 image. Okay, so we put a minimum count, maximum count, we only want 1, so that's all we need. Then we need our key name so that we know what our SSH keys in this case need to be. Okay. Then we need a security group so that we can access the box. The box needs to be deployed in it's a computer, so it needs to be deployed in a network. So then we have to add the subnet ID, and then we do tag specification so that we can add our tags, and that's our tag spec that we just did. And then the instance type is going to be the T2 micro. So we're going to create a T2 micro. Okay. Now we can actually be done at that point. We can go back into Amazon's EC2 management console and find out what the public IP address is and all of that so that we can connect to the box. But this is a script, so we're going to kind of try and keep everything so that we can do it from within the script. Okay, so I'm going to sleep for a minute just to give the box kind of time to get going and start running. Then I need to find out what the instance ID is so that I can pull the status, because I want to loop through until the status is okay. So if I'm doing this with in mind of adding software later, then I need to know that the box is ready and up and running. Okay, so there's a lot of pieces here. We're going to make just a string collection and add to that string collection our reservation ID. We have our instance, but that typically just pulls back our reservation ID. Then we're going to filter, do some filtering here, the reservation ID so that we can filter on our reservation ID. Then we're going to go get EC2 instance and use the filter reservation, filtering on the reservation ID. A lot of reservations and filterings. So, but we're going to do that and list out our instances, and inside the instances is the instance ID. Okay, so that gets me my instance ID finally. Then I can do get EC2 instance status, which is what I really want to do. So get the status of this instance ID. So once I get the status, then I can create a loop here, and every 5 seconds I'm going to check and see what that status is. It'll be initializing, waiting, but we want to wait till it's at the OK state, which means it's up and running, and then I can write out my host the public IP address. So that's just going to put on the screen the public IP address. Okay, so we have this here. So if I go to PowerShell, oops, we have our scripts here, and there is new EC2 instance live PS1. Okay, so these live scripts that I use have my own access key. Here, I'm going to launch this off because it's going to take a little bit of time. Have my own access key secret key. These generic scripts that I publish to Bitbucket, you just need to put in your own information up here in the script. So we can see right here, right, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, but we can come here to AWS, and I will have an instance launching here in a second. Okay, this first one on the top that says demo, it's an other instance that I was playing with, and they, after you, if you've used AWS for any length of time, you know that once you terminate an instance, it sticks around for probably an hour before it actually goes away. Okay, so my instance is up. Now it says it's running, so it has the image copied over. It's booting up. It's starting. I can check a few things now that it's launched. I can check my tags. So here you can see it's taken my billing tag and it has added the name of my instance. If you just launch an instance without adding the name tag, the name part up here is blank, so you can't reference it by that or filter by that. Okay, so we can see it's initializing. There's some status checks that are going to start coming into place. There's some monitoring that comes up. So it's putting all this in place for CloudWatch. We, at some point in a script, I have scripts so that we can create dynamic CloudWatch scripts as you launch them. Okay, so all that is running, and if we come back here, we can see now my script is down to the part here where it's every 5 seconds it's getting the status. So we're now looping through status, trying to get waiting for the instance to become completely available. This sometimes takes like a minute to do, so we're just gonna hang out with it for a second. Now this part where we get here, where we do the image that we're getting to launch, on Linux you have to do this, get the AMI list. On Windows it's a completely different one. We'll do another video that's basically for Windows. Okay, so now here I've reached the end of my script, and it's put up here my public IP address of the instance. So I can exit PowerShell. I need to make sure that we change the security on the AWS key to 400. That makes sure that it's more secure for using it in SSH. So SSH tac I, my AWS key pair, and it's the user that is EC2-user. Then we do @ and this is going to be our 52.53.186.33, the IP address, or you can use the public IP address of the instance, which is basically the IP address dashed into Amazon. So you can do that. We're going to hit enter, and yes, we're going to accept our fingerprint, and that's been added. And now, boom, we're at a command prompt, and I can go here and see this is the root drive of our Linux box up in AWS. So that all worked. Now I could continue on, install software, whatever I needed to do, update the box, whatever I want to do. Okay, so that is creating an EC2 instance in AWS using PowerShell and the AWS PowerShell .NET Core, in this case, module. Okay, so now that's running, and you can go on and do whatever other things you need to do to your box. Like I said, install software, install the web server, update it, whatever you need to do, it's ready to go. Okay, so this has been another one of my Amazon videos. I do other videos, like I do some movie reviews, movie comments, I do photography reviews, I do some other rambling things. So if you like any of those things, subscribe to my channel. If you like this video and this video helped you, then like the video, and that'll help me out. All right, well, my name is Tom, this is Tom's Tech Show, and thanks for watching.